Before we get started, I just want to say I spent too long on this video and I definitely need to practice better editing habits. I got a lot to learn still, but here we go. Enjoy. Hey. No. Oh my god, no. Hey. Welcome to the first of my review series. There is so much media and content nowadays. I would love to recommend everything to my closest friends and families. But we all only have so much time on this earth, right? So my purpose for my review series is to talk about my favorite media in the way I would recommend it to someone close. Give them enough of the story to hook them, hopefully without too many spoilers. And if they, and you, like what I've said, then maybe y'all can wholeheartedly invest the time to actually watch what I'm throwing at you. If not, then hey, then what's lost is only a short time compared to the span of multiple episodes, movies, pages, or gameplay. My first review, and the first show I recommend to you all, is an anime called Apothecary Diaries, or as I affectionately been calling it, Apothecary Beach. This show is a mystery dramedy set in a fictional country based in Imperial China. The lead character is Miዕᆽ, a young apothecary with an unusual upbringing who is just trying to skirt life unnoticed, until unfortunate events forced her to working in the Imperial Palace, where she ends up using her expertise in medicine, poisons, and chemistry to solve a variety of mysteries for the royal court. I was hooked immediately by the characters, the humor, the mysteries, and my subverted expectations. And now that I've obsessed over it a bit, I want to talk about it with you. My final thoughts on it will be in my video conclusion, but you've made it this far, so let's jump on in.
This is poison.
Miዕᆽ is an apothecary working for a brothel in the red light district. One day, she gets kidnapped and sold to be a servant at the Imperial Palace. Although originally wanting to lay low and work as a laundry girl until her servitude contract expires, she ends up getting involved in a medical mystery, wherein the Emperor's children were dying soon after birth, at first thought to be caused by a nasty curse, after deducing that the reason was actually a lead-based face powder, popular among the women at both the Pleasure District and the Emperor's Rear Palace. Miዕᆽ secretly notifies each of the new mothers to stop using the powder. One of them, Lady Li Hua, ignored the mysterious warning, resulting in her infant son dying. But another, Lady Gyokyo, heeded the note and saved her infant daughter from the same fate. After this occurs, Lady Gyokyo instructs the new eunuch in charge of the rear palace, Master Jinshi, to find the writer of the note that saved her daughter's life. Miዕᆽ is later found out as being the only servant girl that could read and write, after Jinshi holds up a written note that none of the other servants reacted to. Once she's taken to be questioned by Lady Gyokyo, Miዕᆽ explains how she knew of the poison affecting the babies. And to show her gratitude, the consort made Miዕᆽ a lady-in-waiting, and her poison food tester. This, and her never-ending curious nature, is how Miዕᆽ ends up getting more involved with other mysteries and helping Jinshi, the attractive eunuch, figure out logical explanations for things happening around the palace. Some of these mysteries involve a strange dancing ghost woman, a cursed rash, toxic honey, poisoned soldiers, poisoned brothel client and courtesan, the attempted poisoning of her lady, can't have a show about an apothecary without a couple people getting poisoned, the expulsion of Miዕᆽ's father as palace doctor, the unexpected death of a metalworker and his mysterious will, plus suspected arson in a palace warehouse, along with stolen ceremonial tools, and the dead officials associated with this, all connected to an assassination conspiracy leading to an impossible resurrection scheme. Oh, and yeah, Miዕᆽ eventually reveals the mystery of her mother and real father. What? Ay, pero Dios mío, ¿qué te pasó, mija? Of course, Miዕᆽ didn't solve these mysteries alone. A lot from her own conclusions come from her own theories, but she interacts with a wide cast of characters, all of whom contribute important clues and insight that Miዕᆽ didn't have the perspective or knowledge of previously. Miዕᆽ's observational skills are excellent, but only when her interests are brought up, meaning that she often needs added context about palace life to add to her brainstorm, leading to completing the puzzles in her head. Once she feels like her conclusions are complete, she confides in those officially investigating, giving them leads when they didn't have any. One such official she reports to is Master Jinshi. Master Jinshi is in charge of the rear palace, where all of the emperor's consorts live. Otherwise known as the feminine eunuch, cursed and blessed with beauty, he can charm any woman or man with his looks. Well, besides Miዕᆽ, that is. Miዕᆽ cringes at his advancements, put off by his attempts to win her over.
I've never had anyone look at me so harshly in my life.
Eventually, the eunuch is amused by Miዕᆽ's passiveness towards him, due to the rampant and sometimes unwarranted attention he receives from everyone else. Miዕᆽ becomes intrigued with most of the mysteries presented to her by Master Jinshi, especially those involving her expertise. But sometimes that is not enough, causing Miዕᆽ to shrug at certain inquiries. Since Jinshi can't use his features to allure Miዕᆽ into helping, he instead resorts to dangling rare ingredients in front of her, offering her prizes for her completed detective work. This tends to be why Miዕᆽ sticks around Jinshi, as likewise, Miዕᆽ knows she can sometimes use his favoritism to her advantages. Seemingly unrequited, Jinshi definitely has feelings for Miዕᆽ, although the apothecary doesn't seem very interested overall, apart from moments when Miዕᆽ is fascinated by his raw beauty and his hidden personality. Although he exudes a confident and welcoming persona while out and about, once away from public eyes, he reverts back to a childish mentality, and since meeting Miዕᆽ, starts exhibiting jealous tendencies towards others ogling at the apothecary. To all others in the palace, he is evidently just a eunuch in charge of overseeing the consorts' homes. But not much is known about where he came from and why he became a eunuch. Miዕᆽ makes up a lot of conjecture in her headcanons about Jinshi due to his mysterious background.
Is that a new hairpin? So, the eunuchs get them too? His collar is disheveled, plus his normal sparkle is gone. Was he absent because he was indecently engaged elsewhere?
It's unusual, but Miዕᆽ and Jinshi make it work as a mystery-solving duo. Their juxtaposing values and lifestyles, one being from the streets and the other being from the palace, allow for different perspectives to be acknowledged during investigating. Especially with Miዕᆽ's background in poisons, medicines, plants, and chemistry, Jinshi places his trust in her as a professional in order to close cases. In return, Miዕᆽ gets to do what she loves best, being an apothecary. In the rear palace, Miዕᆽ is introduced to each of the emperor's consorts. Lady Gyokyo is said to be the emperor's favorite. Their daughter is the infant that Miዕᆽ saves at the beginning, leading her to be entrusted with the position of poison food taster. The consort and her ladies-in-waiting are in full support of Miዕᆽ and all that she does. These women acknowledge Miዕᆽ's kindness and bravery while also encouraging her involvement with Jinshi's cases. Lady Lihua is the emperor's second favorite consort, the woman that did not believe Miዕᆽ's warning about the toxic face powder. After her son died, she also succumbed to illness. At the emperor's request, Miዕᆽ was placed in her pavilion so that she can nurse her back to health. Although very aggressively dismissive towards Miዕᆽ at first, Lihua's ladies-in-waiting learned to take her seriously when the apothecary realized why Lady Lihua wasn't getting better. They were still applying the banned toxic powder to the bedridden lady. What the fuck? Once the powder was thrown away, and Miዕᵉ was made lead lady-in-waiting, Lady Lihua was able to recover after 2 months of TLC from Miዕᵉ. During her recovery, Lady Lihua gained a new outlook on life and has since been very friendly to Miዕᵉ. As a victim of bullying from her own ladies-in-waiting, Lady Lishu, the youngest consort, at first is apprehensive about Miዕᵉ, especially since her ladies don't care for the apothecary. But after finding out about Lishu's allergies, Miዕᵉ encouraged the lady to be more vocal about her dietary restrictions, while warning her bully of a food taster that vigilance is needed as one mistake could be fatal for the lady. Being the oldest concubine, Lady Aduo is about to be let go from the rear palace, which she welcomes after such a long and difficult experience as a concubine. Lady Lishu used to be close to Lady Aduo. They had a mother-daughter relationship that Feng Ming, Aduo's lead lady-in-waiting, did not approve of, and would scare Lady Lishu away from her pavilion. When Miዕᵉ is appointed to help clean out the pavilion, she grows suspicious of the lady-in-waiting, and thus confronts her, discovering a couple of horrible secrets that Feng Ming kept hidden. In the aftermath, the Lady Aduo shares a heart-to-heart, and some booze, with Miዕᵉ the night before Lady leaves the palace. As for Aduo's replacement, Lady Lulan is seemingly indifferent towards Miዕᵉ so far, but there seems to be a power struggle between the lady's father and Jinshi. I'm assuming this storyline continues in the next season, scheduled to come out 2025. When Miዕᵉ returned after being kidnapped for 10 months, everyone back home admitted to feeling concerned, although each showing it in their own way. Miዕᵉ explained her job at the palace, and her homecoming was welcomed. The madam of the Verdigris house helped raise Miዕᵉ with some tough love, and the 3 princesses of the brothel, who treated Miዕᵉ like a sister, encouraging her, giving her advice, and supporting her through hard times. Along with her gran and sisters, she was raised by her adopted father, the brothel's pharmacist. The man taught Miዕᵉ everything she knows, and is her main inspiration. She always worries about him while away, which is why Miዕᵉ uses her position at the palace to direct customers to her adopted father's clinic and to the brothel to pay off some debt. Now about her real family. I don't want to reveal too much about this plotline, cause it is the season finale reveal. But you definitely find out a lot about Miዕᵉ's lineage, and why she practically became the person she is now. Speaking of which, Miዕᵉ is definitely a very interesting character to me, but I feel like I need to break her down to her most prominent traits to figure out why. Let's find out a bit more about her. Miዕᵉ loves being an apothecary. She loves foraging for ingredients, loves making drugs, loves trying out drugs, and using mysterious substances on herself to experience the side effects and invent antidotes. She loves the taste and thrills of poison, like alcohol, certain poisonous foods, and even aphrodisiacs. Her knowledge extends to cosmetics, and chooses to wear makeup to look less attractive by applying freckles to her otherwise flawless face. Miዕᵉ starts off in episode 1 just wanting to skirt by, unnoticed, mainly due to the occupational hazard of being an expendable servant. One mistake and it's over. Her logic is to just spend her servitude as an ordinary, illiterate girl, like most of the other servant girls around her, and work until her contract is up in 2 years. All would have gone as planned if not for overheard rumors of cursed babies. Once she knew why the infants were sick, she felt compelled to act, although tried to do so in secret. hoping it was enough to save the babies, but discreet enough to not get caught. Miዕᆽ took a selfless risk. Because in the end, she did kind of get caught. For Miዕᆽ, the littlest of actions can ripple into the biggest of reactions. It is easy to see that Miዕᆽ can care a lot for others. As an apothecary, she has always tended to those in need with her remedies. Whether it's the streets or the palace, she yearns to soothe discomfort wherever she goes. Often, she overextends herself to be of help or to solve a problem. 2 instances include spending 2 months taking care of Lady Lihua. It was the Emperor's orders, but Miዕᆽ took no shortcuts in helping the ill lady, even asking Jinshi for a sauna to help Lihua heal. Another instance is a spoiler, where regardless of some doubt and risks, Miዕᆽ races to a ceremony to warn of murderous sabotage. I won't say more, but it all comes together at the end. Growing up and observing life in the Pleasure District, while having an entire brothel to teach her the ways of life, it's no surprise that Miዕᆽ has learned how to avoid trouble, while also getting her way. With all of that street smarts, plus her acute observational skills, she is able to influence people to gain what she wants. And can even manipulate those guilty into admission. Best of all, Miዕᆽ uses her smarts just to prove she can win. Okay, but this is actually it. This is without a doubt the reason I love Miዕᆽ. She is a very inquisitive spirit. When her curiosity is piqued, there's not a lot you can do to stop her. Miዕᆽ's strive to expand her knowledge is honorable, but the itch to know too much still dangles over her like an enticing ingredient. Her interests already stem off of a niche profession dealing with dangerous substances, so no doubt her thoughts slip into the taboo. The people around her keep her grounded when she expresses her morbid curiosities out loud, but when she has to self-regulate the thoughts unspoken, that doesn't always work. She's a weirdo with a love for her unusual interests, which sometimes just results in some strange speculations. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of curiosity and imagination after all. I love Miዕᆽ because she knows who she is. Her convictions are strong, and despite not everyone understanding her, she continues without a care. There's a couple of themes I picked up on during my watch. The first, ignorance is bliss, but also a curse. Many hid their health issues behind opulence, their ignorant disguises causing more harm than good. The first example was the beauty makeup powder, leading to health complications and death, a price to pay for fleeting beauty. Or forcing oneself to eat extravagant foods despite allergies or weak stomachs in order to not offend the emperor. Also, honey is golden and delicious, but lethal to babies. Secondly, not everything is as it seems. One should not speculate on conjecture alone. For being a valuable lesson, most of the series does rely on Miዕᆽ's speculations, being mainly correct if not off by a few details. Although she does understand the importance of keeping facts and rumors separate, attempting to only form conclusions around the truth. These observations do help along Jinshi's official inquiries, who can accomplish more due to his status and job position. And lastly, found family is important. Her real parents were never really there for her. Miዕᆽ relied on her sisters and Granny at the brothel along with her adopted father. And then once at the palace, she finds trust and familiarity with Jinshi and his assistants, and Lady Gyokyo and her ladies-in-waiting. Apothecary Beach subverted my expectations. The show seemed very pro-sex. The emphasis on safe sex was made many times, especially since her apothecary work at the brothel included keeping the girls healthy, and it was mentioned that clients were screened for diseases. And in the palace, the scenes were not explicit, but there were instances where Miዕᵼ encouraged the concubines to explore new things in bed with the emperor. Oh, just passing along some tips her sisters at the brothel would tell her about. Another subversion is Miዕᵼ's aversion to outer beauty, whether it's her own or Jinshi's. And Jinshi's attraction to Miዕᵼ's aversion. All other women treat him like a handsome prize, whose attention they try to win. Meanwhile, Miዕᵼ treats him like an ordinary man, thus her aversion when he tries to put the moves on her. Like, dude, she distinctly dresses down to avoid this kind of attention, after all.
Any dislikes?
Not really a dislike, but the mystery elements aren't necessarily hard to solve. A lot of Miዕᵼ's conjecture can be a little hand-holdy. Honestly, not something I noticed during my first watch. So maybe it's because I've rewatched it a bunch. But I did notice that the missing puzzle pieces to the bigger mysteries can be found by paying attention to little clues and hints dropped throughout the series. Which I guess for the mystery genre, it does well in leading the audience to their own conclusions. I'm a little dummy, so it took me 3 rewatches to really notice most of the tiny clues dropped here and there. But hey, the season 1 finale wraps up a lot of the major plot points. The ending is satisfying enough as a standalone.
Is the music any good?
The first opening song is the best. I can't help but get hyped every time I hear it. And if you listen to the song on the artist's original page, it is longer and even more dance-inducing. The second opening song is calmer compared to the first, but it fits more with the slice of life aspect of the anime. The mundane everyday in the palace, compared to the first song, which feels like it represents more of the once-in-a-while thrills.
Ooh, how's the fan service though?
Oh yeah, the fan service is good. There's just enough of it.
A dumb misunderstanding.
If it helps, I can come inside.
Master Jinshi!
So why am I so obsessed with this show? And why am I recommending it? Because it's really fun. It's a fun time. As a mishmash of genres, the combination of mystery, drama, and comedy creates a pretty digestible yet intriguing story, with interesting characters, gripping whodunits, and satisfying reveals. The main character, Miዕᵼ, is a well-rounded individual with many strengths and many flaws. But she always stays true to herself, while also doing what's right. Finding out about her past and how she ended up as an apothecary was riveting to me. The rest of the cast won me over as well, especially Master Jinshi. I loved the interactions between them and thought they made a great team. I wish I could have talked more about the rest of the cast of interesting personalities, because Miዕᵼ's interactions with most of them are pretty fun too. The drama has telenovela levels of intense emotions. The funnies made me haha many times, especially the looter jokes. And the mysteries kept me on my toes, wanting to solve them alongside Miዕᵼ. The reoccurring themes create cohesion throughout the series, building upon the narrative that not all is what it seems. The subverted expectations kept the show fresh, the subversions playing well off of the main genres. The balance between all of these factors is why this anime is my new comfort anime. Not that it's a turn off your brain show or anything, but it's just so damn entertaining. I want to know more about Miዕᵼ, Master Jinshi, and everyone else in this fictional world. I really want to follow this story. And here it is. Here's my final piece. I worked really hard on it. I'm pretty proud of myself. You know, it's been a while since I've done a piece like this, I think. And the main reason I wanted to do it is because I wanted to make a print for like all my favorite characters, and why not start with my favorite apothecary. And I wanted to incorporate all the little things that she loves, like all the weird little toxic things she likes to eat and experiment with, and ingredients that she just fawns over in the series. But yeah, I feel like I can push this a little bit more in certain spots, and I might make a follow-up video where I go back and critique this and, you know, look at it with fresh eyes and, you know, kind of try to push it a little farther, and learn more about basically values and colors, which is my main focus right now. But yeah, so look forward to that. If you want to see my full process, I'll be posting that soon enough. Thanks. I was told that this anime is an adaptation of a web novel from 2011, which then was published as a light novel with illustrations, and later expanded in not just one, but 2 manga adaptations. Knowing this now, I'm curious to explore the books, if I can find English scans, and deep dive even further into this series. Maybe I can do that as a follow-up later on, or maybe wait until season 2 comes out in 2015. 2025. We'll see. But if you like that idea, go on and let me know if you're curious too in the comments below. While you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. All the support I've been getting has been monumental to my perseverance. Lo agradezco muchísimo. Baby steps is the name of the game, and hey, if you're thinking of trying something new, just remember that it's never too late to get started, because every little step you take now will lead you further down the right path for you. I give you permission to give it your all. Thanks!